Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. We'll be relaxing as per usual. Today's the weekend. It's Saturday. Everybody get down on Saturday. Yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I don't really know. Excuse me. Need to have some water. Stay hydrated. Clear out that throat. Clear out your sinuses. Clear out your pores. Clear out your blackheads. Clear out your, I don't know. I'm just saying random stuff now, to be perfectly honest. If it wasn't evidently clear before, I was saying random things. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:08 PM on Saturday, July 1st, 2023. What can we talk about? I don't know. It's the 1st of July? So fireworks and a number, 1st of July. I don't know why that comes to mind. I think it's like a Bo Burnham song. I think it's a country song parody, which by the way I've not seen. I was saying that yesterday. I was just like, I kind of want to watch something, but I was like, I was this close to subscribing to my first streaming service to be like, actually, want to be entertained by something, and despite the fact I've got like 50 million games in my inventory, and it's also a Steam Summer Sale, so I could pick up like almost any game I want for a good price, which I probably should do. I kind of forgot about it, but luckily it just started. Then I was just like, you know what, instead I'm gonna, possibly subscribe to a streaming service. Now, to be fair, it's not going to be Netflix or anything like that, because, to be fair, I could have access to Netflix if I wanted to, because some people I know have Netflix, but I just choose not to because I haven't. But there's only one thing on Netflix which I probably want to watch, which is BoJack Horseman, because I've heard a lot about it, and then everything else is sort of just like, if it happens, it happens. I'm not that fussed, that I know of. But, there's one service, College Humor, Dropout, where they have a TV series, they have like a game show called Game Changer, which I've spoken about in the past, and make some noise and play it by ear. But 3 really good ones, and I've seen like the teasers for them, or like seen the episodes that they've uploaded on the YouTube channel, and I was like, this is great. This is like exactly up my alley. And yesterday I was like, bite the bullet, subscribe to it, get a 3-day free trial, and let's watch some stuff. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I'm not here tomorrow, like the entire day, so I'm not getting my maximum usage out my 3-day free trial. Let's wait till next weekend. It's a hot fight soon anyway. I've got stuff to do. I can draw, I can play some games, I can do whatever I want. So yeah, not this time, soon, at some point, Game Changer. I will watch your episodes, but anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today. Let's talk about bookmarks. I don't know what that came to mind necessarily. I haven't read books like for ages, to be honest, because I don't know necessarily how common it is in your school and schools in general, but at least in the school I went to in secondary school, we had to have like during the English, one of the English classes, or maybe it was just during registration or something, the teacher just gave us time to read a book. It was a thing like for like the first 10 minutes of something of class was just reading time, and we had it in primary school as well, except for primary school I don't really remember how regularly it was. I'm gonna be honest, in primary school I don't even know how subjects worked in primary school, because we didn't have like a timetable. It almost felt like the teacher just sort of like rocked up being like, right, today we're going to learn about one of these subjects. So we got disproportionately a lot of maths and English, and sometimes science lessons as well. And like, I remember we got barely any geography lessons. Geography and history were like kind of laid by the wayside. And drama, obviously didn't even get this lesson. It was only like the end of year school play, which everyone took part in. But of course we had no drama lessons, so who really knows what's going on? But not as bad in secondary school, where basically drama wasn't even a thing. Like, you had to take it as a subject, otherwise you basically would have like one lesson of it per year or something, just something ridiculously small like that, which is a real shame, I think. Let's not discredit the arts. Kids can have a lot of fun doing things like drama, etc. But yeah, we'd have reading time, I suppose. And I'm trying to remember my bookmarks throughout the years. I remember that the bookmark I definitely used for the longest time, I can sort of remember it, because I remember it was from a museum I bought. It was from like a school trip back in primary school. So I'm going to guess it was probably year 4 around that age for me. So I was probably like, what's that, 9 or 10 or something. We went to, I can't remember what museum it is, but I bought me a bookmark there as a souvenir. I don't know why, because, you know, whenever you go on these school trips and your parents give you some money to buy souvenirs, you're always like, oh, I gotta spend this money to buy whatever. Some people, they go for sweets, they go for the candy, they go for some treats and snacks of it, sort of things like that. You know me, I'm not really much of a snacking or sweet treats person, so I went instead to get some souvenirs. And I remember one of the year, there were a few primary school trips. I guess we're going with museum souvenirs rather than bookmarks, but still. But in primary school, there was like flavour of a month souvenirs that people would buy. Because I remember one time we went to, I can't remember, like, but London's very known for lots of different museums, perhaps because of, you know, old British Empire stealing a lot of these very traditionally important historical artifacts from other countries. And, you know, we haven't returned them, which, you know, is not really something I'm in control of. So I don't really have a lot of power or sway over that, but that probably, you know, certainly helps cultivate the museum scene. But yeah, anyway, the long and short of it, we're not really going to delve into that topic all too much, because honestly, I'm not really that well educated on it, to be perfectly honest. But London has a lot of museums. I'm very known for museums. You've got like the Science Museum, a Natural History Museum, a British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum, etc., etc. A lot of museums, and honestly, they're all pretty cool. If you like museums, you'll probably like most of them, to be honest. They're all very interesting, I think. I loved the Science Museum when I was younger, probably because it was the most interactive as a child. I've been to the Victoria and Albert Museum much more recently, and I found it awesome because they had much more, like, niche, I suppose, topics. So sometimes they're like, I suppose they can be more hit and miss, but last time I went, it was on my birthday last year, and they had a Beatrix Potter one. I loved Beatrix Potter when I was younger, and they had a really nice exhibit about fashion during the ages, and I was like, that's fantastic. I took a load of pictures, which were, at some point I was meant to use as fashion references for things I draw, but that never came to pass because I'm a bit lazy. But yeah, basically, the museums are pretty nice, but there's always sort of like metas, you know, like flavour of the month, museum, souvenirs that always sort of propagate during primary school trips. Because I remember one of the years, what museum was it? It might have been the Natural History Museum, which makes no sense because I feel like we went there like multiple times during primary school. But there were like these, they weren't like Fabergé eggs, but they're kind of like Fabergé eggs, where basically they were like, I don't know, marble, porcelain, some sort of granite, stone egg. I don't really know. Excuse me. They're basically this fake egg, which sounds so dumb to say, but it was this fake egg which you could buy, and then for some reason a load of people in our primary school bought them. I don't think I bought them. I don't really remember, but a lot of them were like quite like beautifully decorated, like mosaic stylings or tilings or like bejeweled or things like that. But I remember because one of the girls bought just like a stone egg, which looked, no joke, just like an actual egg. It was just like a white egg. Oh no, maybe it was like, it probably wasn't a white egg. It was probably like the slightly brownish colour eggs that we tend to get in the UK. I don't know what type of eggs those are, to be perfectly honest, or what chicken they come from, but those are certainly the most common ones in the UK rather than the white ones, which I think you see in America much more commonly. At least that's what the impression I get from all the American media I've consumed, because these like brown eggs are far more common in the UK. Like I very rarely see people with these white eggs. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, she just bought like just an egg. It basically looked almost indistinguishable from an actual egg. It just was made out of pure stone and was probably a lot shinier than an actual egg is. And I remember we were having a conversation about it. We'd be like, oh, imagine if you just put it in the fridge, and then your mum will be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna like go crack an egg, and she like tries to crack it, and it's just like, whoa, it's actually a stone instead of an egg, or something like that. Obviously, you know, the things that you find humorous, I suppose, as like a 8-year-old child is certainly far disconnected from the humorings of adults nowadays, I'd say. Well, maybe. Well, that's good or bad, I suppose, then that's something that's up to you to decide. Yeah, what was I going to say? Not really sure. Don't really know where I was going with this, to be perfectly honest, but yeah. I'm just trying to think. I think I also started playing catch with the egg at some point, like they were throwing it back and forth. Or maybe like one of the boys got like the egg, and then they started throwing it about, you know, just playing some risky business, hoping like the egg doesn't break. It's sort of like the egg, what's it called, like egg, no, but there's It was like a sports day thing where theoretically you chuck an egg back and forth, which I've seen on like American shows, but is not something which happens in UK sports day. I should talk about sports day at some point. Cut a lot of stories on that. Anyway, these like fake eggs, for whatever reason, one of the trips we were there were supremely popular. Another one, I think this one was actually at the Natural History Museum, was like geodes and gemstones, because they were selling a load of stones. Like, I don't know if it's still the case, but I think it was in the Natural History Museum. They basically had like these big sort of bins just full of like pretty stones and geodes and that sort of thing, and everyone was basically just sort of buying a share of them, including myself. I don't remember what I bought. I think I bought like jasper, cat's eye, and something else. 3 of them or something, but you know, I don't think I brought like that much souvenir money, so you know, I wasn't exactly splashing out. But I remember one of my friends, he bought like an amethyst geode. It was like pretty expensive, like for like us as 9-year-old kids or whatever, and you know, he was just like, whoa, he's got like the most impressive geode. You know, everyone on the coach ride back home was just like looking at it. He's being like all smug about it, because you know, that's just how, I don't know, primary school politics ends up working. And to be fair, it was a pretty cool geode. It was I mean, it was just a geode. It was like a cut open rock with like amethyst inside, which I'd imagine is probably the most basic of basic geodes. It is. I can't imagine you look at that and be like, yo, this is like the most advanced geode I've ever seen. It's probably just like geoding 101. It's like, oh yeah, you got like an amethyst geode. Nice. That's a good entry point or something. I don't know. I don't really know about the not the meta material, does that make sense? The sort of the geode meta and what that particularly entails. But that comes to mind. It's basically long short of it. What else? I wonder if bookmarks was the metaphor time I got bookmarks, but I can't remember exactly what was on the bookmark, but I know it starts with V, and in my head it keeps saying, I keep thinking Veritasium. It was not Veritasium. That is like a YouTube channel who do science or maths related things. I can't remember, to be honest. But it's something that starts with V, and I remember it had a logo on it, which would look kind of like a shell logo. It looked like a fan of like ridges on a shell. I don't know what those parts on, like a clam, not a clamshell. Well, yeah, maybe a clamshell is called. And I used that as my bookmark for ages. And I remember it was a tasseled bookmark made out of like a faux leather or something. And I always used to like fold the like faux leather tassels into like patterns, or like wind them together and stuff like that. But every single time afterwards, I would always make sure I lay them out completely straight afterwards and pinch them between the pages of a book, so they'd like be ironed out until next time I'm ready to read the book again. Because I guess I didn't want like creases on my bookmark. I don't really know. I don't think I was ever really a person to just use, you know, like a receipt or a ticket or some random scrap bit of paper as a bookmark. And I like bookmarks, why not? I remember we had a bookmark in our family which was used for a while. I don't know, maybe it's still used. Was a very thin pink one which with a little bird on top, and it had like blue spots or something on it. Anyway, sorry, museum souvenirs. I'm trying to remember other souvenir and museum trips, because I like to buy souvenirs. I like to buy plushes, you know me. I remember one time in year 8, I think we also went to the Natural History Museum again during school time. I don't remember, because normally they have a sort of like topic you're trying to focus in on, being like, oh, you were trying to learn about, you know, like ancient Greeks in history or something. And I mean, that doesn't really happen. That happens in primary school. In secondary school, you basically only learn about World War I onwards. So much more modern history, I suppose. But we would go to a museum because maybe they'd have like an exhibit and we'd check that stuff out. I don't remember what this year 8 one was. I might have photos of it. I doubt I do, but I might do, which would be crazy. But I remember I bought an orca, like a really small orca mini plushie. Why? I don't know. I just did, because that was, you know, what I wanted to buy. I genuinely have no idea what compelled me to buy it. But I remember I was talking to like a friend at the time about it, and he was just like, he looks like a Shamu plane, and I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And apparently Shamu is like this orca who was in SeaWorld in the US, and they made like a plane or something like after them, like in the stylings of an orca, and it was just called the Shamu plane or something like that. Anyway, I ended up, oh my word, the Joy-Con drift, did you see? That's crazy, you know. Okay, sorry, I want to say yes, but apparently that's not an option in Animal Crossing. Yeah. That's all I really remember. And I remember just going, like, waiting outside the museum while we were waiting for a coach to pick us up, just going, like, it's Shamwow, and calling it Shamwow or something, like, over and over again. I don't know why I remember this. This is of no consequence to anyone, but it just sort of stays in my memory. Okay, hold on, year 8. What year would that have been for me? 2016, I was in year 13. So minus 5, so about 2011. That sort of time. I don't have a lot of photos probably from 2011, but if I do, I might have one. I mean, I have a photo of some of my friends on a coach. So this must be year 7. This must be year 8. So maybe we're on a school trip. I have the photo of a couple of friends petting a cat. That was at a maths camp thing, which I don't know if maths workshop, I should say. Excuse me, rather than maths camp, which I do remember. I don't know, Legoland. I think I went to Legoland with one of my friends because he just randomly got tickets or something. Is that a friend's house again? Oh, we're on a trip? No, this is a trip to France and Switzerland or something. A different trip. I don't remember what this is. So my friends are just at my house. Just looking at all this random stuff. These aren't even my photos while over here. I guess I don't have any photos from when we went on a school trip. Oh, I've got this one when we went to London. But this was GCSE time though. It must have been 2012. Yeah, it's like year 10 or something. Crazy. Anyway. What other go-to museum souvenirs? Because I've been good to museums a lot more recently. I'm going to be honest. I quite like tote bags, you know. I use tote bags quite a lot. You know, carry shopping, carry stuff around in. I like having decorative tote bags. I don't know if I brought this up, but like for one of my friend's birthday recently, like at the end of May, we bought him a load of TFL merch, and one of the things he bought was a tote bag. But for some reason, I've now ended up, he gave a tote bag to me. Why? Because apparently he doesn't use tote bags, but I use them all the time. So you know, I've got them. I've got it now. It's fantastic. I use it to carry my shopping in. So you know, I do use it quite a lot. So I guess you know, but from a utilitarian perspective, it's been very worth it. So I think tote bags are out there. I think accessories are kind of out there now. I think if you go in with a mind that you're not getting like a top quality, you know, product necessarily, you're getting very much a novelty product. But it's still pretty nice to see, you know, like but I remember we were in this. I can't remember what it was. It might have been the Gaudi Park in Spain. They had a lot of like souvenir things from their gift shop, which I guess it wasn't, I don't know if it really counts as a museum, but Park Güell, that's it. And they were really pretty. I almost wanted to buy one, but they were like really expensive, and I was just like, it seems a bit pointless, because some of them were like these really nice earrings, and then I thought about it more, and I was like, I can probably get like nice Technicolor earrings, I think, back home, which, you know, I would be buying these specifically because they're Gaudi themed, and it's not like I'm like a huge Gaudi stan or anything. I like his work, certainly, but I think the meaning of it is sort of lost on me for, you know, the quality drop I think I'd get from purchasing from a museum gift shop. So I probably just bought like a plushie or something. Yeah, I did buy a plushie, didn't I? I bought like the lizard. But they had some really nice rings and necklaces and earrings. So I think if it is a theme or something which is important to you or has some meaning to you, I think they're really nice. Plushies are always goated, of course. And sweets and snacks, I'm going to be honest, I don't like at the bottom of the list. I don't think museum sweets or snacks are even particularly that special. But, you know, if you like them, you like them. What can you do about it? But yeah. Don't really know where else I was going with this. I don't know. We might just round this episode off here, because I do need to record. I'm going to pre-record an episode for tomorrow, seeing as I'm going to be busy for probably most of the day, I'd imagine. I just don't want that stress in the morning to have to wake up and record an episode. And if I do have time to wake up and record an episode tomorrow, then I'll record one of my other things. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to round off this episode here. Actually, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go clear out my inventory. Then we're going to go to Happy in Paradise, because it'll probably be a quick customization. And I'll probably want to dump a load of things in storage. I haven't done a Happy in Paradise customization for ages. Like, if you missed my commentary about it like weeks ago, I was basically like, it's on like a hold. Basically, I just like don't have the passion to do them like every weekend anymore. Not because it's necessarily bad, but it's like I've done so many themes now. I feel like I'm just retreading old ground. So now they're basically exclusively being used for when I need to pre-record episodes in advance. I'll use them for Happy in Paradise. So then hopefully at least I'll have some semblance of interest about it by doing it far less frequently. So which is why I've not done them for like months now, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's because tomorrow I'll be going to a concert. I'll tell you more about it, I suppose, on Monday. But for now, I think we're going to round this episode off here, and I'm going to go pre-record an episode on Happy in Paradise. But if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling, and likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.